lépp lay fay. sant yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
Now it's time to bring on my first guest to talk about health at the establishment of a private dialysis clinic in the Gambia, an initiative spearheaded by Sils Dialysis, whose Dr. Lambert has come to talk about the project with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. Dr. Lambert, thanks very much for coming on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez.
Thank you very much for having me.
For listeners who may not know you, can you briefly tell us who you are?
Sure. So I'm Dr. Kurt Lambert, founder of Sils Dialysis, originally from Barbados, and my entry into dialysis was very personal. My mother was on dialysis, and it was that experience that led me to building Sils Dialysis in Barbados, where we've grown to be the main leading private provider on the island. Mm-hmm. At Sils, our mission has always been to provide exceptional, really patient-focused kidney care, built on what you would normally expect. That's built on trust, built on compassion, built on just providing a great service. And of course, when you're providing a service to your mother, then you really want that to be the very best.
Absolutely.
And we've kept it that way. We've maintained it that way. So we invested in the best technology in Barbados, and invested in the best training programs that were out there, and that's where we are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you were recently awarded the Order of Freedom by the Prime Minister, the Order of Freedom being the highest national honor in Barbados, the Prime Minister being Mia Motley. What did that recognition mean to you personally, and how does it connect to the work you're doing now in healthcare?
Mr. Gomez, it means a lot to me. And it meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me. It was really deeply humbling. It's really special when you're recognized at home. And I see it as a reminder of what it means to be responsible. I see it as a reminder of responsibility. When you've been given opportunities, like the opportunities that I've been given, and and you've been given the trust by the country, then combine that with the experience, and I believe that you have a duty to use that responsibility to really do something good for the people, mm-hmm. To serve people. And that mindset is really what I'm trying to bring to the Gambia. which is taking the experience that I gained at home, that I gained also in my professional life, and trying to use that to build something that is genuinely in the interest in something that can generally make a difference in the life of people of Gambia, Gambians.
And why is kidney disease such an important issue right now, globally, especially here in Africa?
Chronic kidney disease is a huge global health issue, even if it's something that you very seldom hear about. About 14% of the world's population has some form of kidney disease, and that equates to roughly 788, almost 800 million people on the earth live with some form of kidney disease. And it's deadly. Just last year, chronic kidney disease was ranked as the number 9th global leading cause of death globally. So we're talking about a very silent epidemic that kills millions, and there's very little on the news, very little in the press about this disease.
Can you explain what chronic kidney disease is? I mean, you made reference to it several times there.
Well, before I get to that question, I just move back a bit and just talk about what's driving this chronic kidney disease. And the causes of chronic kidney disease are pretty standard across the globe. It's high blood pressure and it's diabetes. Those are the two main causes. In Barbados, it is high blood pressure. In our neighboring island, Trinidad and Tobago, it is diabetes. And these conditions are on the rise globally, right? Whether it's in developed countries, but more so in developing countries, you see an increasing rate of high blood pressure and diabetes.
And why is that?
It's a question of lifestyle. Okay. It's a question of not moving in Barbados. It's a question of not moving enough, of processed foods. It's a question of the diet, and it's a question of just stress, stress in your day-to-day life that kind of drives a high blood pressure. I think you asked the question, the term chronic kidney disease, yes. What it means. Okay. Chronic kidney disease basically means that your kidneys are gradually losing their ability to do what they're intended to, which is to filter your blood and to remove toxins and fluids. If you think of your kidneys as the body's natural filters, when they're damaged over time, then the toxins and the fluids start to accumulate because the kidneys simply can't do their function of filtering them as they should. It's a progressive long-term condition. Chronic means that it's not going anywhere. In fact, kidney disease, it is irreversible. So we can slow it down. We can treat it. We can treat the effects, but we typically cannot fix a kidney once it's damaged. If it is damaged, then it will remain damaged. Early on, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any difference. You could lose a lot of kidney function. My mother, for example, her kidney function was at 15%, and she did not realize that she had kidney disease. All right. So
she had lost 85% of her kidney function.
She had lost 85% of her kidney function. She was living in New York, having regularly scheduled checks, and it was never picked up. So at 15%.
So that can happen to someone even in the UK. Sorry, in New York, in the United States, in the US.
Without a doubt, without a doubt, it can happen to anyone.
A lot of people would have thought, that can only happen in Africa.
No, not at all, not at all, because normally, even in the developed countries, in brackets, They also don't check your kidneys. They may check for your blood pressure. They may check for your sugar levels, whatever else. But normally they're not checking for your kidneys.
Occasionally, when I've been to the doctors, I mean, they put on their stethoscopes and had, something on my back. I thought they were checking the kidneys there. Is that not what it is?
No, I don't think so. No,
Okay.
no, that's not what they were doing. Something else, but not checking for your kidneys.
Okay.
Kidney testing is done by a combination of two tests. It's a blood test, and then there's a urine test.
Okay.
And the combination of the two of those.
Now I know better.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the warning signs people should not ignore when it comes to kidney health?
Like I mentioned earlier, it is really a silent disease. So in the case of my mom, but I keep referring back to her, but it really, the signs are difficult to pick up because you often attribute the signs to other diseases that you might have. You know, if you have problems with urination, you might think it's linked to some other sickness that you might have, and you may not necessarily link it back to the kidneys. As kidney disease progresses, it does give some warning signs though. One example would be swelling in the knees, swelling in your feet or ankles, actually. Sometimes even in your face or in your hands. And the reason for that is Mr. Gomez is examining his hands.
Do they look normal?
They look normal.
Okay.
They look good. And the reason for that is that the kidneys are not removing the fluids that they should be removing. Many people report feeling very tired, or weak all the time. You may attribute that to something else, but it's often a sign, or it could be a sign that you could be having problems with your kidneys. Another red flag is changes in urination. You could find yourself waking up multiple times during the night to go to the bathroom. Your urine might become foamy. It could become a bit dark or even tinged with blood. None of these are normal, and therefore none of them should be ignored. And actually, some people also would end up with nausea, loss of appetite, itchy skin because the toxins are building up. These symptoms can be very subtle, but together they point to the kidneys not doing their job. And when you have a combination of these, then you really should seek some type of professional advice.
On the issue of waking up, at night to get into the toilet, how many times does it have to be, to start becoming worrying?
That's a difficult question there.
More than 3?
I would suggest that you look at what you normally did. So if you normally got up once or twice to go to the bathroom, and then you start having to get up 3 or 4 times, then you know there's probably an issue. Okay. If you normally got up 3 or 4 times to go to the bathroom and you realize that has doubled, or you're going increasingly more, then you know you have an issue there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But 1, 2 shouldn't be a problem.
1, 2 is not a problem.
Okay.
No worries.
Right. And at what point does someone actually need dialysis, and why is it so critical?
You need dialysis once they're not functioning. Usually that's 15% of when the kidneys are operating at 15%. At that point in time, there are 2 options, right? One option is you have a kidney transplant. In Switzerland, where I currently live, the default option is that you would have a kidney transplant. But for most other countries, or for many other countries, particularly developing countries, that option doesn't exist, and therefore you go the route of dialysis. And dialysis is normally 3 times. You go for dialysis 3 times weekly, and each session is roughly 4 hours. So there is quite a huge cost to the person and to the person's family when you go on dialysis. right? So you're going 3 times a week, 4 hours. Then by the time you add in the time it takes to get there, the time it takes to get home, the fact that you're tired after the dialysis session, it is quite a cost. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And why did Sils Dialysis decide to expand to the Gambia? And why now?
Oh, why now? Honestly, the Gambia came into my life in another very personal way.
Oh, let's hear it. If it's openly, something
it
openly
is.
discussed.
It is. A very good friend of mine from the Gambia reached out to me. He had returned home to the Gambia from Switzerland, where I currently live, and he and his family were living. And he said, Kurt, I know that you've been involved in dialysis in Barbados, and I've returned home, and I see that there is a solution in the country, but we would need more capacity. Can you come down and see for yourself? Can you come down and see, and maybe there's something you can do? So I did. I came down. I met people on the ground. I spoke with the clinicians, with doctors, with nurses, went to visit the hospital, went to visit this private clinic, and I saw the reality on the ground. And it became very clear to me from that visit that there was a need for additional capacity and an opportunity to build up something meaningful. So in addition to seeing the need, and this is quite key, I really felt the warmth of the people of Gambia.
The infectious warmth of Gambia.
Yeah. I met lots of people. I really felt that warmth, and you realize why the country is really called the Smiling Coast of Africa. And that was a feeling that came across very strong. And I thought to myself, okay, there's work to be done, and I really want to be part of that journey. Why now? I think the timing is right. There is an issue. There's increasing awareness of kidney disease, and there will be even more so going forward. And I think it's time that we can build up Sils here in the Gambia and complement the existing capacity that we have on the ground already. And there are, like I said before, we do have quite a few options on the ground already. We have some options on the ground, but there is room for more capacity. We also would like that members of the diaspora, that when they return home, they can feel comfortable. They can feel comfortable to make that decision to return home. I saw that with my mom again, living in New York, wants to go home to Barbados. But thinking twice, should I go, should I not go? Am I going to get the care? And she decided to go. We built up the clinic there, and she lived 15 lovely, fulfilling years at home where she wanted to be with the family, right? In the surrounding that she felt comfortable in. So the experience that we had in Barbados, it really showed me that if you run a high quality service, and you run a service that really really provides a care at international standards, then it's a win-win situation. It's quite obvious.
And what kind of clinic are you planning to build in the Gambia?
Similar to Barbados, right? Which means higher standards of dialysis. It means that we'll bring in the best equipment that's out there on the market. Machines, there's the dialysis machines, then you have the water treatment system. Then there's also the training. The quality of service of a dialysis session will depend on the machines that you're using, but then it also depends, of course, on the staff that you have, right? So it's really a combination of both of them. And the machines, like I said, we bring those in, and then the staff, we just have to make sure that we have the best staff possible, and that they're trained appropriately.
Where will you go looking for staff first? Locally, or bringing some in from the setup
In
Barbados?
Barbados,
Yes.
I mean, absolutely, we'll recruit locally. And one of the main values that one of the core values that we have is working with the local community and trying to build capacity, because that's the only way that is really sustainable. We're not going to fly a whole set of foreign staff to the Gambia. We really want Gambian clinical staff to be really at the core of the clinic. And this is important. It's important not only for creation of jobs, but it's also important to build capacity, local capacity, and to have a solution that is sustainable in the long term. We are looking for several people, dialysis nurses. These are the nurses with specialized training in dialysis. They're the ones who monitor the patients, provide the service, work on the machines during the dialysis session, and they ensure that everything runs safely. And if there are dialysis nurses out there, nephrology nurses out there, then they should feel free to contact us. But if not, we'll take registered nurses and we'll train them to be dialysis nurses. The training we will do according to our protocols that we have in Barbados. So we will have to, at some point in time, probably in the beginning, bring someone over just to do that initial training and to make clear, what our standards are, what we expect. But that should be an initial. That should be for a short while until someone from the Gambia takes over. And then we need dialysis technicians, biomedical engineers. These are the people who actually take care of the machines. They take care of the dialysis machines. They take care of the water treatment system. The machines are very high tech and they do need proper maintenance. So we will hire and train local technicians for these jobs. But of course, there again, we need to bring someone in to do the training on these very specific machines. And then, of course, you have the nephrologists.
And where will the clinic be located?
It will be located not far from here.
Okay.
So within 10, 15 minutes from your offices.
And what about cost? Will dialysis at Sils be free? How will access work?
Well, that's a very great question. And the answer is no. The dialysis session would not be free. Patients will need to pay for dialysis sessions, and I want to be just to be clear, so that there's really no confusion. We're not a government entity, and we operate independently of the government, of the public system. So we will not be getting any type of government funding or subsidies for treatments. Hence, we will have to charge for the services. Now, we know that costs is going to be a big concern, right? Why? Because first of all, the cost is expensive. Because you do have all the machinery that's usually, from, you have the dialysis machines, you have the water treatment systems that tend to be quite expensive. You have the consumables that are also needs to be imported, which is also quite expensive. But above all, dialysis treatment continues. It is 3 times per week. And it can continue for many years. So you have to pay for that service every time you go for the service over multiple years. So it is a big concern. But we will make sure that we do the best to keep the cost as low as possible, to keep the cost fair, to keep the cost transparent. We will explore any options with insurance schemes or with employers. If a patient has health insurance, of course, we work with that. But our goal is really to provide the best quality care that we can possibly provide at the lowest possible cost that we can provide it at. And that's when we went into Barbados. That was the goal. We were able to achieve that, and I really hope that we can do that. And I will do my best to achieve that here in the Gambia as well.
And just speaking about the Barbados setup, do you have patients from other countries, especially within the Caribbean, flying into Barbados just to take advantage of the facilities offered by dialysis, Sils dialysis?
No, we don't, and that's because that would be very expensive, right? I mean, if you need to fly from St. Vincent, which is our nearest neighbor, to Barbados, that's already $200-300 just to fly into Barbados. Then you have to pay for the service, so it's not feasible. So we don't have. We do have a few people. Having said that, we do have 2 or 3 people from some of the other islands who moved to Barbados, and they remain in Barbados. So they've relocated to Barbados, and then they have service at home. But people flying in and out, the answer is no. Barbados is a tourist island, so the tourism is our main source of government revenues. So we do have lots of tourists coming into the island, lots of cruise ships coming into the island, and often many of these people, but there's a proportion of these people who need dialysis, and they will do dialysis with us, right? So we do have that type of dialysis tourism, for lack of a better word.
Right. Finally, what should the listeners do today if they want to learn more about Sils dialysis or to register for care?
I would really, first of all, we should be opening. We don't have a fixed date as of yet. What is clear is that we would open between the 15th of March and the 15th of April. Sometime within that time frame, we should be opening. We don't have it fixed as yet, but that's the time frame. As soon as we know exactly when, we'll give you a call and ask you, can we come back on your show so we can share that information. We do have a WhatsApp line, which is +220. I think that's it, right? 770-5080. I repeat that. Today is 220-770-5080. And you can always, if you're a potential patient, if you're a family member, you can call this number or just drop us a message for additional information. And also, if you're a professional and looking for a position with us, you can also call that number and get more information from us as well.
Just by way of free consultancy, you know what they say, prevention is better than cure.
Definitely is, definitely.
Generally speaking, how can people take care of their kidneys so that they don't get to the point where they need dialysis?
You will need to manage the underlying. At the beginning of the show, I mentioned that it is really diabetes and it is high blood pressure. Those are the 2 main sources of diabetes. Of kidney disease. So you would need to make sure that those 2, you take care of those 2. Diabetes, we know how you can solve that, right? Cut back on the processed foods, cut back on the sugar. Eat more local foods. They tend to be healthy and they tend to be from the ground, and avoid the processed foods. I mean, that's the key thing, and the sugar. And then for the high blood pressure, then again, we know what we have to do for high blood pressure. Exercise, walk as much as possible, take care of the body, cut back on salt. Stress levels, make sure that you take some time on every day.
My staff is listening. They heap so much stress on me.
I hope you're listening.
Yes.
It's matter. I mean, for the high blood pressure, it's really the stress and it's really the salt. Watching your diet and exercising. Just take care of your body. I think everyone. I think all of us know deep inside what it means to take care of your body. I think if we all step back for a few minutes and think, what should I be doing to live a healthy life? I think we all know that. Instinctively, we know it. And that's what you have to do. Exercise a bit, take care of yourself.
Thank you for the free advice, Dr. Lambert.
Thank you.
Dr. Lambert of Sils Dialysis.
Wépp lay fay. Sant yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.